Lovely shot.
Makes it gone. Big wicket. Huge wicket.
Hello and welcome to Sharjah Cricket Stadium for a historic day and night. It's Afghanistan's first one-day international against Australia and only their second versus an ICC full member after February's game also here in Sharjah against Pakistan. So let's have a look at the surface that these two teams are going to be playing on. Let's join Robin Jackman.
The temperature here on the thermometer on the pitch is 38.8. Now, the thermometer is roughly on a length on this pitch. The pitch looks identical throughout, so, like, it's hard, it's just rolled clay. These bits of grass aren't even growing. You need a microscope to even find a blade of grass here. When you look at this, you win the toss, you bat, because it's an absolute belter. No seam movement. Whether the ball will swing in this humidity, I'm not quite sure. Here we go then from the middle. Michael Clarke, the Australian captain's won the toss. And in his words, he's going to bat first on this.
So concrete it is. Let's have a look at the two teams. Australia first of all. Keep an eye out there for Glenn Maxwell making his debut, the off-spinning all-rounder. Michael Clarke has moved himself back up to 3 in the order. Mike Hussey's back after missing the England series because of the birth of a child. And watch out there for George Bailey as well, the 2020 captain for Australia. He was their leading run scorer in the team that played in that England series, the series they lost 4-0 a couple of months ago. Here's the Afghan lineup. Look out at the top of the order there for Javed Ahmadi, fresh from the Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Australia. Mohamed Nabi and Shinwari, the two spinners. They're two players to have played all 22 one-day internationals for Afghanistan so far. The wicketkeeper, Mohammad Shahzad, he's a bundle of fun. Watch out for him too. And Dawlat Zadran, the fast bowler, down at the bottom of the list there. Keep an eye out for him too. He really will be a danger man with that new ball, and later on, possibly with some reverse swing.
I'm now joined by Pablo Kang, the Australian High Commissioner here in Dubai. Good evening to you, sir.
Hi, Robin. Nice to be here on this historic occasion.
It is, isn't it? It's a huge day, particularly, I think, for Afghanistan playing against Australia.
Yeah, definitely. Their cricket has come such a long way in such a short period of time, and given the very close relationship that we have as a country with Afghanistan, it's great that we're actually playing them in a one-day international for the first time.
71 for 1 then, 15 overs. I understand that you are a huge cricket enthusiast, so you must be reasonably pleased that Pakistan are having to make this part of the world their home for cricket for the time being.
I think I'll be diplomatic in my response to that, Robin. I love watching all forms of cricket, but I guess I grew up mainly on a diet of test and one-day cricket, so that's still adjusting to the 2020s, put it that way.
Yeah, and there's a few are. But it's not going to go away, and it's very, very exciting. Oh, that's squeezed under the bat. How it didn't hit the off stump, we're not quite sure.
It's a French cut.
Well, he might have got a little outside edge there, but hardly call that a chance. Be very harsh if he did.
Yeah. I think we're lucky today also, Robin, with the weather. I think we're a bit worried it would be much more humid than it is, but it's actually not so bad out there.
Yeah, it's nice to talk about worrying about the weather without worrying about rain, isn't it?
Yes.
Sandstorm maybe, but not rain. And I was out there earlier just doing the toss and the pitch report and interviews and so on. And there was a bit of a breeze. It was hardly a cool wind. It's a bit of a warm wind blowing across the ground, but at least it was there. Breeze was there.
Well, I've been in the UAE since January and I haven't seen rain yet, so still waiting.
Has it ever rained here? I look around. I don't find anybody nodding.
Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. Match was affected by rain. Not this year.
Swept hard, but straight to a man. They're 2 men back. What about 2? It's quite a big ground, this, so there is sort of one there for the throw, you might think. 16 gone, 74 for 1. The Australian side there, the 2 Hussey brothers follow each other next, and then Bailey Maxwell making his debut. Stark, who's played a few. Pattinson, who's quick and lively. And the left arm spinner Doherty. But you have to look long and hard at that list these days to put faces to names, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I guess I don't watch as much cricket as I'd like to these days, and people come and go.
I see that you're from Sydney. You might need more than an over to answer this. Nicely played and fielded. I see you from Sydney, but your favourite ground is the MCG. Are we allowed to tell the people back home that?
Yeah, well, I don't want to get into any kind of Sydney-Melbourne rivalry. I just think, obviously, it's the MCG with the Boxing Day Test match and full house. It's hard to beat that kind of atmosphere. And Sydney's a very different ground. It's a lot smaller, obviously, and has just a different feel to it. But, yeah, in terms of straight atmosphere, hard to beat the old G.
You haven't sat in Bay 13, though, on Boxing Day, have you? Not lately, anyway.
No, not lately.
It is a remarkable ground. I was lucky enough to be there in Ashes tour of 82, 83, Bob Willis's tour, where England actually won a test there. And that I was playing in it. I was one of the guys biting their nails, and I'm still doing that.
I remember it well.
Fantastic 5th day.
Jeff Thompson nicked it, Chris Tavares came off his shoulder, and Jeff Miller caught it.
Absolutely right. It's gone past the outside edge as well. 17 overs gone, 76 for 1. Not outside the line.
A long way forward as well.
And the ball was just going the other way slightly. No, you're not going to get it. No matter how dramatic you are. Are you a fan of the DRS and all that sort of thing? It's not being, I don't know that it's being used in this game, DRS. I don't think it is, but having watched a lot of it now, are you pretty much a fan of that?
I think you can take advantage of new technologies and cut down, you know, the factor of human error. It can maybe be a good thing for the game, but I guess as with all change, people have to adjust and adapt. And as long as the decisions are made relatively quickly, I think that's the main thing, and there's no obvious errors in the decision-making process.
Yeah, 1 or 2 will creep in. We've seen it happen, but generally speaking, umpires are happy. They're quite important to know that they're reasonably comfortable with it. They hate having to reverse the decision because it means they've been told they got one wrong, but
Indeed.
they're pretty comfortable with it. I think the players enjoy it. That's a tidy over, very tidy over indeed. In fact, a maiden. It's 18 overs gone, and 76 for 1, and the first drinks break.
This is 10 cricket.
I have gone. The drinks break is done and dusted. For the Afghanistan team, in fact, it was a short prayer break as well. They all left the field for prayers. And earlier on, before the drinks break, I don't know whether I promoted or demoted Pablo Kang. He's actually the ambassador for Australia, not the High Commissioner. Is that did I demote you or promote you?
If I was stationed in a Commonwealth country, I'd be a High Commissioner. So it just depends where I am. But as the UAE is not a member of the Commonwealth, I'm an ambassador.
Oh, okay. And you're based here in Dubai?
Up the road in Abu Dhabi. We have a consulate in Dubai, but the embassy's in Abu Dhabi because that's the political capital of the UAE.
You say you've been here since January. How long is the tenure for an ambassador? Is it a set time or?
Generally, it's about 3 years, depending on other operational requirements. So I'm planning on about 3 years.
And then you could be sent somewhere else, like Cape Town, something like that.
Inshallah, who knows? That'd be nice. There are high commissions based in Pretoria, not Cape Town.
Yeah, you'll have to do something about that. All the high commissions are up in Pretoria. The beaches aren't quite so good there. Into the 80s. Closing in on the end of the 19th over now. And these two spinners have done pretty well together. It's bowling in tandem. And that'll finish the over nicely. Just 5 from it. 19 gone. 81 for 1. 7 in the evening. 34 degrees. That's exactly what the temperature was when I landed here at 3 o'clock this morning. Oh, he's put it down. He hit it very hard. It's the captain. It's the captain who shelled it out.
Well, he was there.
Yeah, just had to jump a little bit, didn't he? It was never easy. But you'd see those caught 9 out of 10 these days, wouldn't you?
Far from beat for me to criticise, but he got both hands to the ball, so...
Played cricket yourself?
I did. I played a lot of cricket at school, primarily, coming from Sydney, and, you know, it's a thing to do in the summer, so... Yeah, not much these days, though, unfortunately. The last time I played, I broke my finger, so haven't really played since.
Fielding or batting?
That's wicket keeping.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, tough job. Tough job. Hey, he's thinking. Could have had a test wicket.
Left hand, left hand.
International wicket. Write a little book. Just be 1. 3 men out on the onside in the deep backward square, deep mid wicket, and a long on for the left-hander. That changes for the right-hander. Long off and sweeper on the cover boundary. It's good running from Clark. Weighted the ball well, and it's 20 overs gone. 85 for 1. 85 for 1, 20 overs gone. I'm sitting next to the Australian ambassador out here in Abu Dhabi, where he's based, who is a big Steve Waugh fan, I believe.
Yeah, well, I watched a lot of Steve Waugh growing up, and I really admired... I mean, he struggled at the beginning. He was a child prodigy and made it into the test side at a very young age. And then took a long time to get his breakthrough test century on the 89 Ashes tour, but, you know, give credit to the selectors, they stuck with him and blossomed from there.
Of course, captained Australia many times as well. Had a very useful record. It's actually a nice story about the brother Mark came racing home after they just announced an Australian team, and rushed into the family home and said, Mum, I've been picked for Australia. Steve said, well done. Who have they left out? Said you.
Yeah.
That was brother for brother.
And Mark Waugh, that was the Adelaide Test match. He got a century on debut, scored 138 against England.
Good knowledge, Ambassador, good knowledge. Sweet timing. Clark will be crossed. He's hit it to the only fielder in front of square on the offside. Just 2 from the over. Well bowled. That's how it'll remain. Move up to 3 from the over. 88 for 1, 21 gone. 88 for 1 then. Wade 35 from 64. Clark 28 from 44. 2 boundaries each, that's all. Quite a big ground this, and not a lightning quick outfield, it has to be said. But at the same time, Afghanistan have bowled very well indeed. They've not bowled a lot of what we would term as boundary balls.
No, and their spinners don't muck around. They just get in there and fire another one down.
Race through the overs. Australia, of course, still looking for a quality spinner. You can't talk about replacing Shane Warne because those sort of people come around in decades, not every other year. But tried a few Australian selectors, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and some quality players. I mean, Xavier Doherty in this lineup, and obviously Stuart McGill for a long time was Shane Warne's understudy. Great spinner in his own right as well. Oh,
that was a poor delivery and has been dealt with. 1 bounce 4. You'd hit that for 4, Ambassador?
Oh, 6 for sure. Over mid-wicket fence.
Yeah, it was a shame really that McGill and Warne played at the same time. It's a pity for Australia that one couldn't have followed the other.
Well, we didn't have more turning wickets to assist them.
Used to play together at Sydney a lot because they used to turn. 2 indifferent deliveries have cost him this over. 1 for 4, and that's gone away for 3.
Well, maybe.
He gets in, which he has. 22 gone, 95 for 1. .95 for 1, 22 gone. Wade still at the crease, open the batting with David Warner, the only wicket to have fallen. 35 from 64. And Michael Clark on strike, 35 from 50. 3 boundaries now. Mohamed Nabi, 17 wickets in his 23 matches, economy rate of just over 4, which is pretty handy. Do you know what I do like about the Sydney cricket ground, the SSG, is when they rebuilt it, or when they made it into the modern concrete stands and everything, they kept that Victorian
Members pavilion and the ladies stand,
and the pavilion itself where the players all sit. I think that's important. It just keeps hold of some heritage.
Yeah, retain the character of the place. So it's great to see teams like Afghanistan getting a chance against the top teams in world cricket.
And they deserve it, you know. They've played some really good cricket. I was out here doing the qualifiers for the T20 World Cup, where Ireland were here, Canada, Afghanistan or whatever. Afghanistan were brilliant in that tournament. Absolutely brilliant.
And I think their under-19 team, which just played in the World Cup in Australia, did very well. They came 10th, I think, out of 16 teams. Great result.
I watched a bit of that on television, and the games were being televised from Townsville. Got hold of Alan Wilkins, and I said, is it as pretty and nice as it all looks? And he said, yeah, it is actually.
It's a very nice spot. My last posting before here was Vanuatu, and they similarly have a really good young up-and-coming cricket team. So it's good to see the new nations developing through the help of the ICC.
Another good over, just one from it. 96 for 1. $96 for 1. I'm with Pablo Kang, the Australian ambassador out here. We were discussing just now how sad it was that Warne and McGill played their careers concurrently, and our little genius stats man here has come up with us 16 tests they actually played together, and they counted for 156 wickets. And McGill, in fact, outshone Warne on those 16 occasions in total. McGill 82 wickets at 22s, and Warne 74 wickets at 29. So it was a great shame that one couldn't have followed the other and provided 30 years of leg spin bowling, brilliant leg spin bowling.
Oh, you've got to give the other countries a chance, I guess.
Glenn McGrath was over in South Africa not long ago. Did a function for Discovery, the health people, Discovery Health, with him, and with Farney de Villiers. Of course, you might remember that game in Sydney in 1994.
Yeah, that's the one where we had to chase down 116 or something, and didn't quite make it.
Good stroke, couple here. Good communication between the two batsmen. Called 2 to start with, and then reassured his captain that he had plenty of time to get back for the second.
I doubt we'll ever see a bowler as consistent as McGrath was.
Yeah, it was remarkable. You talk about line and length. He never seemed to miss it. First wide of the innings, if I'm not wrong, and that brings up the 100. Been very disciplined, Afghanistan.
Right hand.
First 50, 62 deliveries. The second 50 a little slower, 79. Good platform being built here. They could get a couple now. This is where the heat starts to tell. If it was 20 degrees cooler, I might have thought of 2 then.
Oh, it is cool out there for this time of the year. 34 degrees. It's positively mild.